Thank you for joining me today. Today's topic is going to be part 2 of fertility herbs, using herbs for fertility. So my name is Heather Rodriguez, for those of you who don't know me and you're joining me for the first time. I'm a natural fertility specialist. I own the Natural Fertility Company, and we work with couples who are trying to get pregnant. We work with people from all over the world, and we specialize in natural fertility using herb supplements, natural therapies, and various things to help couples to boost their fertility and prepare for conception. And today's mini class is going to be about fertility herbs, and it's going to be about one specific fertility herb that I think is really important for people to know about. This is an herb that a lot of people use. It's a very broad spectrum herb, and we're going to go over Vitex. And Vitex is such an amazing herb. Let me see if I can show you the picture. That is a picture of Vitex blooming. How beautiful is that plant? That is Vitex Angus castus, one of the top fertility herbs that we work with. Gorgeous, gorgeous plant. So for this herb, what we use is we use the berries, and it's in a lot of the formulas that I use with my clients that we use at the Natural Fertility Shop because it works so well. So Vitex for fertility. We use the berries, and so how Vitex works is it works by supporting the pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland is responsible for communicating to your ovaries. So you have your uterus, and then your ovaries are located up on each side next to your uterus, but they're actually more like the size of almonds. And it communicates with your ovaries to secrete hormones such as progesterone, which is, a major part of ovulation. So that's pretty amazing. But you have to know that Vitex does not contain any hormones itself. That's why fertility herbs are so exciting and so great, because you're not actually consuming condensed hormones. You're consuming something that helps to support a system in your body so that system is healthy and functioning as it should, so that you're ovulating, you're overcoming a lot of these imbalances because you're supporting that system. And one of the reasons that it's one of my main go-tos is there's been so many great studies done on it. In Germany, Vitex is prescribed. It's used by so many different practitioners. So there's a lot of different studies we can use, and it's also been used for thousands of years. So I hold traditional use as just as important as medical scientific studies. We like to use both because there is value there. So some of the things that Vitex has been shown through studies to have an effect on. The first is that Vitex has an effect on inhibiting follicle stimulating hormone. So if any of you have been on the fertility journey for a little bit of time, you've probably heard of FSH. So that is a level that fertility doctors will test for. If that is high, sometimes that can indicate poor egg health or poor responder to doing fertility treatments. So Vitex has an effect on lowering that and increasing progesterone. That's huge. That kind of takes care of a little laundry list of things. Another thing that Vitex has been shown in studies to do is to shorten the luteal phase. So there's the monthly cycle that we have. We'll just say it's 28 days. That's the textbook general. Everybody's is going to be a little bit different. So menstruation's the beginning. Then we've got ovulation, which is a little bit in the middle, towards the middle. And then we have the end of your cycle, which would either you'd be pregnant or menstruation would start again. So you've got your period, ovulation, and that time between ovulation and your cycle, either you being pregnant or your cycle starting again, this is called luteal phase. This is the period of time when your egg has a chance to get fertilized and needs that time to implant in the uterus and begin forming into an embryo. So the luteal phase needs to be like at least 12 days or longer. And this is something a lot of people don't know. If they have short cycles, this period of time from ovulation, fertilization has occurred, and then the fertilized embryo, fertilized egg can burrow into the uterus and begin growing. That needs to be long enough so all of that can happen. It's like this whole huge journey that an egg goes through when it ovulates, comes through your fallopian tube, and your fallopian tubes are like the size of a spaghetti string. But it's like days of a journey for your tiny little egg, which is the size of if you wrote on a piece of paper with a pen and did a dot, that's the size of your egg. It's that tiny. And it goes through this fallopian tube that looks so tiny, but to it, it's this whole huge journey. So anyways, so that period of time needs to be long enough so all that can occur. If it's too short, which happens for people who may have low progesterone, which happens for people with a short luteal phase or hormonal imbalances, okay? And this is very common. A lot of people don't know that this is all that's happening for them, and that's why they're not getting pregnant. And the great news is this is something that is fairly easy to fix. That's like the really good news. And it's one of the leading causes of infertility or not being able to get pregnant. So Vitex is amazing for that. What it does is it helps to lengthen that second phase of the cycle. Okay, so it helps lengthen a short luteal phase. Got it? That's golden right there. Pretty unbelievable. Can you tell I love Vitex? It's one of my favorite herbs. Okay, another reason that Vitex is really helpful is it helps to increase progesterone. So, trying to make it really simplified, progesterone is the hormone that allows the uterine lining to stay around long enough for implantation to occur and the embryo to burrow and for pregnancy to begin. It's also the pregnancy hormone. It's called progesterone because it's progestation. It's what helps to maintain the pregnancy. As you become pregnant and you go through your pregnancy, your progesterone is increasing every single day. And by the end of your pregnancy, your progesterone levels are just like through the roof. So progesterone is really important for helping to maintain pregnancy. If you don't have enough progesterone, then you're not going to be able to maintain that lining of the uterus, and the embryo is not going to have enough time to burrow and for pregnancy to get started. It also may be hard for some people who have low progesterone to maintain pregnancy. It is one of the causes of miscarriage, especially if you've had more than one or two. Maybe something you want to get tested for is progesterone levels, but it's different throughout your monthly cycle, so you need to work with someone who can test you at the correct time and knows what they're doing and knows about progesterone levels. So in a study of 45 women, 86 of them responded positively by taking Vitex and their progesterone levels increased. Unbelievable. And you have to remember Vitex does not contain any hormones, and it's doing this because of the pituitary gland. So increasing progesterone levels, very, very important. So with that, Vitex may help to prevent miscarriages. There are a lot of different reasons someone may miscarry, and one of the reasons is that it was not a viable pregnancy. There's a lot of other reasons. So it's not a cure-all, it's nothing like that, but if progesterone levels are low, this would be something to help prepare with ahead of time. Another thing, and I know so many of us go through this, I went through this before my pregnancy, and I think pregnancy completely got rid of it, but PMS. Vitex is amazing to help overcome PMS. And again, it's because it's helping to balance out the hormonal levels and the hormonal ratios. So wonderful, wonderful herb for that. Also, if you're not having a period, this is one of the main things we actually work with for people, are people who are missing their period. Vitex, again, because it's helping support the pituitary gland, which communicates to your ovaries and to your hormonal system and the whole loop. If it's caused because of lack of hormones or hormonal imbalance that you're not getting your period, Vitex works amazing for that. It's one of the main herbs we actually use for that. Irregular menstruation, again, this is all part of the exact same hormonal loop and same topic. So Vitex, amazing for that. And all of these bullet points that I'm pointing out, these are based on specific studies. There are a lot of different things you can use Vitex for. You know, if you've got acne from hormonal imbalance or PCOS, it works wonders for that as well. Even children or young adults going through puberty who have a lot of acne, Vitex is incredible for that. So it's not just used in fertility, but it really is a fertility powerhouse. So how to use Vitex? There's a couple different ways. The way that I suggest, and I have my clients use Vitex, is we have them take all of it in the morning, in one dosage first thing in the morning. It's one of the few herbs that I actually use like that. But you would take it in the morning. If you're using capsules, you need to be taking about 1,000 milligrams a day. Depends on the quality. I, of course, will recommend Fertility brand. That is my company and my product line. You're going to get the best organic Vitex from us. We also have an extract. I love using herbal extracts. They are fantastic and very, very potent. So you would use 2 to 3 dropperfuls of a Vitex extract if it's a whole herb, or you would use about 1,000 milligrams, taking everything in the morning. Vitex, 1 dose in the morning. So Vitex, the thing about it is that some clinical research has shown that you can start seeing results within about 10 days. But we always suggest that with the Vitex, it takes some time, because you have to understand, if it's communicating and supporting the pituitary gland, the entire hormonal cascade will take time, because there's a step that has to happen here, here, here. Then you get the end result, which may be, I'm ovulating. So there's a whole lot of things that have to happen. But when you're using Vitex, you need to take it for some time, and it depends on the severity of hormonal imbalance that you may have or fertility issues. So it will take some time to make those changes. I say at least 3 months, especially if the hormonal base changes. We work with a lot of women with PCOS, and they're like, oh, I've been taking my Vitex for 2 months and I'm still, I still have my acne, I still have my facial growth, I haven't ovulated, my cycle hasn't changed. And then we start discussing diet. Have you made those changes to your diet? Have you done A, B, and C, which we'll go into more depth in future periscopes? Have you done and taken these steps? And they haven't. And if you haven't made those changes, Vitex actually won't work that well. Because if you're trying to communicate with the pituitary gland and it's going and looking in your body for the ingredients it needs to make hormones, and you're not eating essential fatty acids, you're not eating these different nutrients and minerals that you need for hormone production, what's it supposed to pull from? What's it supposed to make these things from? So diet's very important, especially with Vitex, for it to work properly. Any side effects, I hardly see side effects with Vitex. The only thing is, if people are nutritionally deficient, it won't really work that well. If you're focused on diet and you're doing well with your diet, it works wonders. So I haven't seen anything noted. For side effects that have been reported, because as herbalists and as manufacturer of products, we actually do have to report any side effects or anything that happens. We haven't seen anything except for maybe indigestion for someone, and then we just tell them stop taking it. But it's one of those herbs that's like, thank you, what a gift from nature. So for Vitex, taking it first thing in the morning, about 1,000 milligrams or 2 to 3 dropperfuls of a whole organic extract, helps to inhibit follicle stimulating hormone, which in turn increases progesterone, helps to lengthen a short luteal phase. Oh my gosh, amazing. May help to prevent miscarriage, depends on the cause, relief for PMS and acne due to hormonal imbalances, irregular menstruation, helps with lengthening luteal phase. I want you guys to kind of remember that. So if you kind of need guidance, so if there's, what's going on, but you don't know where to start, we do fertility consultations, and they're amazing. It's an entire plan that's made for you for 3 months, a 3-month program that's made for you. And your program and the instructions and what you're supposed to do is recorded on audio. So it's like you're sitting right there with the fertility herbalist, and she's telling you what it is that you need to do and why. And there's nutrition covered, there's herbs covered, supplements, everything that's very specific to you. These are not cookie cutter whatsoever. So if you need some guidance on that and you're like, gosh, I don't know where to start, is Vitex for me? I don't even know, but I do know this stuff's going on for me, or nothing's going on, I want to prepare and become healthier for pregnancy, you can check out our fertility consultations. And you can find that at naturalfertilityshop.com. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day.